Denzel Curry released the album Melt My Eyes, See Your Future on March 25th, 2022, and it was accompanied by 4 of the most well thought out visuals that I have ever seen from an artist. There is so much quality and diversity between each visual, which spurred me to dive deeper into the inspirations for all 4 of them. And to be fully true to everything Denzel dropped, I want to show a snippet of the 48-second trailer that came before the project. The trailer and the 4 music videos that we're covering today were all done with the help of Adrian Villagomez, who has notably worked with Denzel, The Kid Laroi, and Killer Mike, just to name a few. There's not much else to say about this trailer that won't be said here shortly with the next music video, but I at least wanted to let you know that it existed. With that said, we can now get into our first music video on the list, Walkin'.
It's 'cause my soul's worth redeeming.
As someone who shares their opinion about music for a living, I really wanted to come up with my own in-depth analysis before talking about what Denzel said. But Denzel himself actually broke down this one for me in his genius lyric breakdown for the song Walkin'.
What really inspired the concept for Walkin', to be honest with you, spaghetti western movies, and like just seeing the intro of Django Unchained or seeing the intro to like Fistful of Dollars.
To show you some concrete examples of the movies that he mentions, here is a clip of Django Unchained's intro that shows you a bit of the style and aesthetics that Denzel went for in Walkin' and where it came from. Django! And then here is a clip of Fistful of Dollars, just to drive it home a bit more for anyone who doesn't watch spaghetti western films.
You let him get away from you?
You see, that's what I want to talk to you about.
And now, it's time to speculate a bit. When I first watched this video, I really thought it was mainly inspired by Star Wars. And even though it sounds like Denzel's inspiration for this came mostly from spaghetti westerns, you can absolutely see some comparisons to the world of Star Wars if we dive a bit deeper. Denzel shared in an interview with The Wire that he was a huge fan of Return of the Jedi when he was growing up. And if you take note of the environment and scenes like when the crew was thrown into the Sarlacc pit, you can see a lot of similarities. Walkin' is my personal favorite video of the lot, but the next one also holds a special place in my heart because he really touches on his interests in ninjas and samurai culture. For music video number 2, we have Zatoichi featuring Slow Tie. To start off with some more speculation, I thought about Kill Bill the moment that I saw the text overlay starting this video. And that correlation was confirmed in a piece done by Complex in 2022. Although I'm sure there are deeper ties to Kill Bill than just the text overlay, I did want to focus more on one particular influence for this video. Everything for this song was influenced by the long-running Japanese franchise that was started in the 1960s, which follows the story of a legendary blind swordsman named Zatoichi. In this particular video, Denzel undergoes a rigorous training montage, which includes carrying laundry to a stream, fighting and learning from a blind sensei, and living a life in the mountains to harness his craft. The whole video was shot on-site in Peru, and Sofia Gaspard actually plays the role of Zatoichi, whereas Denzel is her apprentice. Up next is probably the most surface level of the lot, considering Denzel traveled to Peru both for Walkin' and for Zatoichi. But as always, it still runs a bit deeper than you may think. The third music video on this list, and the final pre-release track, is the Kenny Beats produced and T-Pain assisted Troubles. I read 5 to 10 different blog posts that all explain that this was inspired by Wes Anderson. And although a specific movie hasn't been referenced, it's clear that the filming style of the transitions and the general color palettes are very influenced by Wes Anderson's style.
It's like my house to that drought, ayy. Now I'm staying on my mama couch, ayy.
I'm sure there's a lot more that goes on with this video than I could find, but to be honest, there wasn't a ton of direct information out there on the internet. If you know any other facts about this video, or can specifically name a scene that Denzel draws from Wes Anderson movies, I would love to hear it all in the comments below. Lastly, we have the visual for X-Wing, which is the only music video we got after the project released. Earlier with the music video for Walkin, I hypothesized that Star Wars was a huge influence on it. But with X-Wing, there's really no question. The song itself was started right after Denzel watched the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, and the Star Wars influence can be seen and heard pretty heavily at each turn. My favorite fun fact is that prior to filming this video, Denzel was worried that Disney would sue him for using an X-Wing in his visuals. And crazy enough, he was actually able to get cleared by Lucasfilms as long as he changed the ship and the design enough to not look just like from the film. It still looks very similar to the X-Wings that we would see in the film, but I guess it was good enough for Lucasfilms to not sue him. But with that aside, I did want to highlight that Denzel and the director Villagomez utilized a vastly different set of VFX than we've seen in the 3 prior videos. Another Star Wars nod that I felt was worth mentioning was the holograms that Denzel used of himself.
Kill a game, then drop tears. Gassed up, I'm scarecrow, I reveal your worst fears.
This is something that could be seen in nearly every single Star Wars movie, and it is simply just to communicate to past versions of people leaving messages, or to talk to people on other planets or different areas.
General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire.
In a day and age where I feel like we don't see as vast of world building as we used to, Denzel silently created one of the most unique visual identities with Melt My Eyez that I have ever seen. Even the name of the project could be a deeper nod to the blindness of Zatoichi, and I'm sure there's so much more I could have gotten into if I wanted to make this video even longer. I think Denzel Curry is underrated in all aspects of his artistry, and specifically when it comes to integrating his own interests and style into what he creates. This particular album really stands out to me though, and it really felt like something I needed to cover for anyone who wasn't familiar, or for those who just wanted to nerd out about it like I do. Thank you so much for watching this video if you made it this far, because it was actually my first longer form deep dive of an artist that I've ever done. It would mean the world to hear your feedback on how I did, and to hear other comments and thoughts that you have about Denzel's project as a whole. I don't think people talk about this project enough when it comes to the visual identity, and I kind of just wanted to spark that nearly 3 years later. So with that said, I'd really like to do more like this moving forward, so stay tuned for what's coming next, and I will catch you in the next video.